So, this is the part where I usually make some stupid joke or say something silly to catch your attention, but not today, guys. This is going to be a real serious, somber video because Cataclysm's coming to an end. What'd you think I was going to say? I got banned or something? No, I'm not one of those guys, trust me. Anyway, fuck that. Check it out. What we're doing here is, you already seen the title, it's going to be top 5 up and down, right? Top 5 good, top 5 bad of Cata, what we're going to miss, and what we really enjoyed. Just basically not necessarily dealing with Cataclysm the expansion in general, but our time in the expansion this last year and a half. So, fuck it, let's get right into it. All right, what are we waiting for? Are you ready? I hope so, because I'm starting. First thing, we're going to start at number 5 with the good and go up to number 1. Number 1's going to be the best. Number 5's going to be the worst, I guess, but the best of the worst of the best. And then we'll do the bad in the same order. Okay, so right now this is number 5. Number 5. Zone changes. Check this out. This is amazing. I don't know if you guys didn't play before Cata. You know, the Barons was one thing. Zones have changed tremendously. If you haven't seen them, please, I beg you, I implore you to go out and check it out. The fact that they've streamlined the zones and the leveling as well, the tremendous changes. You can't ask for something better than what they've done here. A lot of people complain about Cata not having a lot of content in it, but the fact that they had to redo every single zone and every single quest says a lot about the expansion, and is definitely my number 5 in this list. Number 4, right? Check this out. This is number 4. We're talking about raids, alright? Raids in general, not necessarily anything specific, but raids in general, I absolutely adored this expansion. They were really, really well done visually and mechanically with some exceptions, which we'll talk about later. But Fireland's tremendous raid, okay? The first 2 raids, BWD, Bastion of Twilight, as well as Conclave of the Four Winds, fuck that place. But, yeah, it was great. I really loved the way everything looked, the way everything panned out, the way the fights went. The progression of the raid was solid, pretty smooth. We did a good job this expansion, and I'm really happy with the way the raids went out. Some people didn't like Dragon Soul. I could agree with that. It was kind of like, felt recycled and old, and it definitely got old quick once, you know, once Mop was getting some heat. But either way, I think they did a tremendous job with raiding, the raiding environment. It's a huge step up from the way it used to be. It's equitable. It's an equitable challenge for anyone. Normal modes, looking for raid, heroic modes, all that stuff. Really awesome changes, and I'm looking forward to more of it. This laying the framework for more coming in Mop. Okay, so we're on number 3 now. Okay, number 3. See if I can count. This is 3. We're talking about healing changes. Number 3, my favorite, is the way they changed healing this expansion. It was awesome. If you played in Wrath, if you play a healer, I think you'll agree with this. I mean, Wrath literally for every class. I have every class that's a healing. I have all 5 healing specs right now maxed. I'll be having Monk too, so that'll be the 6th when Mop actually comes out. Let me tell you this. As a Druid, you spammed Rejuve in Wrath. As a Pally, you spammed Holy Light. Okay? As a Shaman, it was Chain Heal, and as a Priest, it was Bubble. If you were Holy, you get the fuck out of ICC. Don't even bother showing up. So that's what it was. And it was so miserable at the end that you literally could heal an entire raid with 1 spell for all 4 classes. It's just not fun. It wasn't that great. But in Cata, they made some leaps and bounds, a lot of awesome changes, and it's even going to get better in Mop. I swear to God, it's looking awesome. I cannot wait for 5.0. It should be out by the time this video goes live. But one way or the other, I mean, we're talking about healing changes. They were just great. And now the fixed mana pool is going to make it even more dynamic. You really got to pick your spells, and you got to use them properly. And if you don't, it's going to be real obvious. The numbers are really going to reflect that. So number 3, healing changes for sure for me. Number 2, second favorite thing about Cataclysm. I don't have a ton of experience with this, but one way or the other, I'm going with rated Battlegrounds and the titles and mounts and stuff they introduce. I absolutely, and the new Battlegrounds as well. Pretty much anything Battleground related. Battlegrounds have always been, I don't do arena, okay, I'm not that, I don't really play this game for PvP at all. I like Battlegrounds a lot, though, I always did. It kind of feels like a PvE, you know, less like a battle than it, you know, more fun and stuff for me, so I enjoy it. Rated Battlegrounds, I got to do a good portion of the first tier in Firelands as well a bit, but I never got super serious about it. But one way or the other, I basically got these random titles that I didn't even know I got, you know. And it's really cool. It harkens back to the beginning when, you know, people used to grind for High Warlord and all that. But either way, I really like the whole new Battleground system. Once again, another thing that they laid the groundwork now. Even, you know, the 2 Battlegrounds they put in were decent, but they're going to put 2 new good ones in. Hopefully keep innovating the Battleground system and keep the rated Battlegrounds fresh. I don't see a lot of people getting excited about rated Battlegrounds, but I personally enjoyed that and that edition as well. This is supposed to be worse on Gulch, but it's not actually worse on Gulch. Okay. So this is number 1. My favorite thing about the experience I had with Cataclysm might be a bit different from yours, but one way or the other, I met a lot of awesome new people in this expansion. I really did. It was, we raided as a guild. If you want to check the guild out, the link will be down below. We raided as a guild hardcore in ICC, and we had a lot of fun, met a lot of people then, had a lot of crazy times, but this expansion was unlike anything I ever experienced in World of Warcraft. And when people say they don't like WoW, they think it's shit, it really hurts my heart, because you know, they say that because they didn't get the experience that me and everyone else in my guild did. Like, they played with scrubs, people who don't care about the game, people who don't care to play the game properly, and they didn't have a good experience with them. But I'm telling you right now, I would fight a gray fucking blob if it meant raiding alongside some of the people that I've gotten to grown close with in this expansion. I met people like Jesse Cox. He's, you know, a friend of ours, I guess, now. He raids with us. Not sure what's going on with him and Mop, but pretty popular YouTuber. Met people like Syiler, Hybrid Panda, people I probably would not have met. I definitely would not have ever met if it wasn't for World of Warcraft, but probably would not have met if it wasn't because Cataclysm offered a lot of interest for people looking to make videos and raid at a high level. So our guild was kind of a branching point. And, you know, there's goods and bads. The bads is going to be on the other end of this list, trust me. But it really brings a tear to my eye, to be honest with you, to know that this game and all it's brought to me have truly, truly enriched my life and my experiences. So that's a serious moment right there. I hope everyone agrees with that, because, I mean, World of Warcraft is a massively multiplayer online. That's all you need to know. Massively multiplayer online. And the fact that I could play and meet people from England and, you know, all over the world that I never would have met before through this and YouTube, it's just, it really, really blows my mind. Anyone out there who thinks WoW is shit or something, it's too easy, like, go play the game with a good, like, find a group of friends and go play it, because this expansion was not shit. And it certainly was not too easy. And I made some really, really good, long-lasting friends here. So that's it for the good. That was my number 1. Now we'll move on to why the fucking bad are bad. Alright, so we're doing the bad now. This is going to be number 5 on the bad. It's going to work the same way. We're going to go number 5 to 1. 1's going to be the worst bad thing, like the top bad thing. And number 5 is going to be the bottom, the worst bad. I don't know what the hell to say about it. But anyway, number 5, Tolbarad. Just straight out, this was terrible. I absolutely hated Tolbarad. It was such a joke. The beginning of it was like, especially in the beginning tiers, everybody was doing the dailies, and there was just so much ganking. It's like, Jesus, you know, it's just not fun. I don't enjoy that kind of stuff. The battle itself was dumb. It seems like it was fixed half the time, just like Wintergrasp. I mean, I don't think they're putting anything like this in for Mop, and I think that's a good thing. I really do. Tolbarad was garbage, in my opinion. Flat out poor. Just very, very poor. And I'm glad that I haven't done it in months, so don't even get it twisted. It's not like I keep doing it. But it is just, it's terrible. The dailies were dumb. The ganking was worse. And the battle itself was just like, it felt like it wasn't even needed. And the freaking boss, the boss only ever dropped, let's put it this way, I don't think I ever got a single upgrade from that boss. I did it almost every single week when I needed it. So, yeah, goodbye, Tolbarad. Number 4 on the bad list here, is no central city for everyone. And there was really, like, the whole world, I said zone changes were one of my favorite things, but, like, now that I'm sitting here and thinking about it, I didn't do anything in the world at all this expansion. Like, if I wasn't leveling an ult, I didn't leave Org. And the fact that Org was just for Horde and there never seemed to be anything going on was... I just didn't like it. I really didn't. And there was never anything to get me outside of Org. No joke, I would log on and just sit in Org all day and then go to raid if I had to. That was pretty much it. I don't like that. And Dalaran was kind of the same way, but at least when you were in Dalaran, you could see like pretty much all the surrounding zones from it. I don't know. It just didn't... There was just nothing going on. Maybe that's just short-sighted, but one way or the other, I think that is a really poor thing. I like what they're doing in MoP. Trust me, get this straight, mark this down. There's going to be so much to do in MoP, especially in the first few months, and every time a new tier comes out, with like the Charms of Good Fortune. There's a video on that on Ace by me if you want to check it out. All these changes, there's a lot to do. There really is. It makes me really happy about the direction of the game, and I'm looking forward to the new cities and how they're right next to each other. That's going to be interesting. There's going to be some PvP outside of those, I guarantee it. But that's it, man. Org. No way. Goodbye. Goodbye, Org. What's this, number 3? Yeah, I think so. Number 3 on my list is the fact that Cataclysm really fell short on a lot of promises. I don't know if you guys remember in Wrath, but they were talking about things like a dance studio, Path of the Titans, Underwater, the Vashir raid, right? Then Halls of Time raid, stuff like that. And they really just fell short on almost every promise they made. They did some really good things in the expansion, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot like that I was looking forward to throughout this expansion, and it just didn't happen. There was just no mention of it. It was just gone. In fact, for the longest time on like WoW Progress and stuff, and the guild site we use, it had a Vashir raid and a Caverns of Time raid listed, like if it was gonna happen, and it just never did. So I don't know, like they said for MoP they're gonna do 4 tiers again, and I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. They said they were gonna do 4 in this one, and they just never did. But I mean, the whole Vashir thing, like, what was that? That didn't have anything to do, like, the 5-man was garbage, there was no story at all, and I don't know, just a lot of promises, man. Looking at you, Blizz, for real. Get that done, fix that up. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something, you better do it. Like this whole Justice, this Valor Point thing they're doing, already bumping into 5.1, man. Let's get that done, all right? I love this game, and I love the community, and I love the people who make the game, but you cannot keep doing this. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it. Cataclysm did not do that for me. So goodbye, dumb promises. Hopefully that kind of stuff ends. But one way or the other, that's number 3 for sure. Yeah, number 2, we're getting to the heated ones now, all right? If you thought the last ones were heated. We're talking about number 2 right now. I am flabbergasted at how many just imbeciles I've had to kick out of my guild this expansion. I thought it was bad. We had some crazy stuff happening in ICC. Internet love triangles and shit, and I thought that was that, there's no way it can get any worse than that. Boy, if you've been in my guild, have I had some retard. I'm not going to name names because that would just be absurd of me, but there have been some real retards. If you've been kicked out of this guild, man, you better count yourself among them. People who, like, just absolute idiots who do the dumbest things, like have their pet whirlwind in the freaking ads on Neff that don't even die, like they don't need to die. And talking about DPS, it's just people like leaving to go chop wood and shit in the middle of a raid, having an agility gem in their helm as a mage. Oh boy, I could sit here all day, man, talking about night classes and shit. You know who you are, boys. If you read this and watch this, boy, you know it. But oh man, I don't know. Just a lot. I don't know if it was Cataclysm, but one way or the other, my year and a half in Cataclysm has a lot. And let's talk about Star Wars, man. Fuck you, George Lucas. Fuck you, LucasArts. Fuck you, Star Wars. There you go. Have it. Eat that shit. I'm so fucking done with that game. It's unreal. That game was such a flop. Go free to play. Go fucking completely free. Give that game out. I still will not play it. That game screwed me over, screwed my guild over so hardcore, because everybody wants to play a new video game, don't they, right? Well, guess what they don't want to do when they got a new video game? They don't want to raid. And boy, did we wipe for so long because of that game, and just nobody wants to play, nobody shows up. Fuck it, man. I had a lot of hard times raiding in this expansion, and the retards and the dumbass game releases trying to compete with World of Warcraft, Yeah, get fucked, LucasArts, for real. For real, get fucked. Alright, thanks for wasting everybody's time. Shit game, good joke. No end game at all. Just keep making shit games. WoW's going to keep doing what it's doing. I'm going to keep playing it. But one way or the other, man, there's been a lot of people, a lot of freaking crazy stuff happening in Cataclysm with human beings. It's really sad. But one way or the other, like I said, the people I met, the ones that are still in this guild that I met, have met good friendships. Best times ever. But the people, the other people, oh boy, that's number 2 for sure. No doubt. Goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, this is number 1. Okay, this is number 1. The worst thing, the worst experience I had with Cataclysm. Alright, we're here for a very, very, very specific reason. Heroic 25-man Nefarian. And it's going to be a good example of some of the worst fights ever put into this game. Okay? And I'm not just talking about like too hard, too easy, dumb mechanics. I'm talking about terrible. These fights didn't work. Nobody acknowledged it. Just didn't work. Nobody acknowledged there was things need to be fixed. And there is 3 fights in general that this happened on. And all 3 of them have literally caused me sleepless nights and so much pressure as a guild leader and a raid organizer and all this. It's just unreal. And I don't remember this in ICC, don't remember this in Uldor, don't remember this in TOC, although TOC was terrible. Don't remember this in Nax, but I definitely remember it, and I will never forget it. 3 fights, Nefarian, Rylith, and Hagara. No joke, these 3 fights probably together, we have more wipes on total than every other boss combined in this expansion. Easily. I would say easily, actually. 168 wipes on Hagara. Probably 120 or so on Rylith. And easily 150 on Nef. And it's not because... Well, I mean, I'd say at least 50 to 60% of them were because we didn't execute the mechanics properly. But Heroic Nef, if you never did the fight, I'll explain it quickly. Basically, you start above the boss. And you have to fall on a platform that is, once again, above the ground the boss fights on, and then fall to another platform. Well, let me explain to you how aggroing a boss when you're in the air works. It evades. Okay? And when a boss evades, there's no threat table. Okay? So, what would happen constantly is a druid, or a priest, perhaps, somebody would post some threat, healing threat, on our tank would jump down, he would pull Onyxia, and the healing threat, since the boss is now pulled, would transfer to the druid or the priest, and the boss would fucking bug out. And it would just start running all around, evading, lightning everywhere, Nef comes down, got 10 dead, it's just a joke. And then to make things worse, when the lava phase started, there's a lava phase if you never did the fight, lava fills the room, you gotta stand on those pillars I was just talking about. For some reason, the lava was such a graphically intense part that it would cause 7 or 8 people in my raid to constantly DC. And at the time, Blizzard was like, no, there's nothing wrong with our servers, nothing wrong at all. And they just wouldn't acknowledge this. People I had raided with for years can't stay online when the lava comes out. You telling me that's my fault? That's their fault? Suddenly their internet is just garbage? Man, that is just poor. And then the same thing with Rylith. These dumb problems... the armor we got all the armor off, and it wouldn't break. And the boss wouldn't transition. And it was just a joke. He wouldn't turn sometimes. Terrible mechanic. Just take that out. Don't even think about putting something like that in the game. Please, I beg you. I beg you. Do not put fights that need 7 or 8 people coordinated interrupts every global. And this was before interrupts were off the global for Nef. Right? That was before they were off the global that we did this fight. And people would have to stop, cancel macro rotation. And it's just unreal. Don't do these fights. Stay the hell away from this. And then Hagara. We had so many problems with Hagara, primarily because of the number 2 on this list. Because of the retards who all left to go play SWTOR. Game of the year. Yeah, good joke. And then at the end of the tier, let me explain to you what just happened 2 weeks ago. I tried to get everybody the meta achievement. I figured it would be easy mode. We're geared to the teeth. We go into freaking holding hands on Hagara, and the lightning will not chain. I have screenshots of it, and I submitted it to Blizzard, and they basically told me to get fucked. They said they don't do that. I'm not lying to you when I'm telling you, the lightning was chained on 9 people. I had it. I'm standing next to the conductor. All it has to do is jump, and we get the achievement, and it would not jump. It literally would. It was just stuck on me. It happened to multiple different people for multiple different reasons, and I get an answer from Blizzard say, nah, that's not our fault kind of thing. We don't do that. We don't do that here. So you got one shot, man. Fix these fucking problems. Take Tolbarad out. Good cities, hopefully, we got coming up. Stuff to do in the world. Stop making blind promises. And the retards, man, I'm going to say this right now. I am happy. I am very, very happy, distinctly happy, that everybody who unsubscribed from this game unsubscribed. There may be a few people that I know who did that I wish they still played. But for the most part, anyone who's unsubscribed from this game, good riddance. Seriously, just stay the hell away from the game. Less 12-year-old retards who are going to apply to my guild and don't even fill out a single question on the app. Stay out. Stay out. This has been Cataclysm. For me, it has been both one of the best experiences in my gaming life and one of the worst because of a few very minute and very intricate problems that should have easily been dealt with in many different ways, and nobody had any foresight to react on them. But one way or the other, that's it. Got a bit heated there. I apologize, but one way or the other, that's it. I'm encouraging now everyone to go ahead. Feel free to submit your top 5, top bad, good, bad, anything like that. I want to see people's response. Cataclysm's over. It was a great time. It might not have been the best expansion, that's for sure, but it was definitely a good one. Absolutely, a lot of the content was tremendous. A lot of good changes. So I want to see what everybody has. Feel free to do it in whatever way, as long as you're not trolling. I would love to see the top 5 good and bad from people. Feel free to make a video response to this or contact me directly and we can talk about how you want to do this. I'm going to encourage now every Ace director who covers World of Warcraft to do the same thing. Maybe we could get their videos up too. You could check them out hopefully before MOP releases. But that's it. It's the end of the expansion, guys. Fucking awesome times ahead. MOP, brand new world. Everything's going to be brand new for everyone. It's like a whole new game. And it's got me really excited. So I hope everyone enjoyed. Fuck you, Neff. Fuck you, Hagara. And fuck you, Rylith. And everybody else who dicked me over this expansion in my guild and all them promises. But good shit with everything else. Good raids. Catch you guys at MOP, man. I'm so ready for it, dude. I can't be more ready for it. Caca.